Welcome to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. On this week's show, the state Democrats call for unity at their local convention. But is that possible with the two top Democrats at odds? Also, a call for impeachment. We'll find out where representatives to Congress from New Jersey stand. A possible ban on e-cigarettes may be coming in the state. We'll find out how that affects local businesses. And we'll take you to an area that is still suffering the effects of Superstorm Sandy. But first, a call for unity at the annual conference of state Democrats in Atlantic City. But is that possible when the top Democrat in the state, Phil Murphy, and the second most powerful Democrat in the state, Senate President Steve Sweeney, are fighting? Years ago, I asked one of the most respected senators in New Jersey, Loretta Weinberg, if that was possible back then.
If sometimes I can be a bridge between those two tall guys, I'm very happy to do it.
So how's that going? Our State House reporter, Phil Andrews, was at the conference and asked Loretta Weinberg herself.
New Jersey Democrats recently held their annual conference here in Atlantic City. At Harrah's, to be more precise. And interestingly enough, coming into this conference, the slogan was Unity for Progress. Somewhat interesting when you consider that several members in the hierarchy of the party have had more than their fair share of disagreements. After all, there is certainly no love lost between Governor Phil Murphy and Democratic State Senate President Steve Sweeney. Heck, there are some who even say that their differences have created a civil war within the party. However, Senate Majority Leader Loretta Weinberg has a different take on that situation. Unity for Progress. Why I find it so interesting is because, there are upper factions of this party that butt heads a little bit. So, and you're kind of like the peacemaker, right?
Well, I don't know if I'd call myself a peacemaker, but I think I try to keep my eye on the things we can all do together. And you heard some of it in the panel today. Things like pay equity and earned sick leave and family leave and wage theft and things of that nature were all bills that were passed by this legislature, led by very strong leaders, Steve Sweeney and Craig Coughlin, and signed by a strong governor, Phil Murphy, and prime-sponsored by, I think, a strong woman, Senator Loretta Weinberg. So I point to that because that's the progress we've made through our unity.
But while New Jersey Democrats may have their respective differences, the one thing that they all agree on is there needs to be a change in the White House come 2020.
Change does not come from Washington, it comes to Washington. I will not stop fighting for justice. I will not stop working for my nation. But these aren't just words that I say when I pledge allegiance, liberty, and justice for all. It is a fight, and we're going to fight from the grassroots. We're going to fight from coast to coast. We're going to fight from the Gulf states to the Great Lakes. And when we stand together and fight together and work together and love together, we are going to win together. Watch out 2020. Here we come.
These days in America, there are constant storm clouds. Every single day, there is a new crisis, a new outrage, only to be drowned out by the next day, by the next outrage, and the next crisis. In Trump's Washington, working families are squeezed, people of color are threatened, women dismissed, the LGBTQ community is attacked, our environment is assaulted, and our allies are ignored. Yet, polluters are rewarded, the gun lobby is coddled, racists are encouraged, and dictators admired. We are better than this. We can do better than this.
This election that is coming up in 13 months and 2 weeks, I think it is, I'm trying to, in just 13 months, is a very crucial one for our country, for our values, for America, and an absolute imperative to elect a Democratic president of the United States. So thank you all. We pray for our country. God bless all of you. God bless America. Thank you, New Jersey Democrats. Thank you.
Speaker Pelosi, by the way, was the keynote speaker at this year's Democratic conference. And while she is technically the second in line to take over the Oval Office behind President Trump and VP Mike Pence, there are some who think she would actually fill that role quite nicely.
When I look at Nancy Pelosi, it was like, here is a woman who's got experience and wisdom, has risen to the top of her game at precisely the right time. She's a woman in charge, and she is going to help lead us to some solution out of this morass. So it kind of, and who knows, she could end up being president.
And so now Democrats will set their sights on next month's off-year election. All 80 seats in the Assembly up for grabs on one special Senate seat. In Atlantic City, for Jersey Matters, I'm Phil Andrews.
All right, thank you, Phil. And at that conference, impeachment, of course, was a hot topic. Jersey Matters' Veronica Dudo checked in with New Jersey representatives to Congress to find out where they stand.
The Garden State hosted the 2019 New Jersey Democratic State Committee Conference. The Unity for Progress event had national ties as presidential hopeful Cory Booker attended and U.S. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi headlined amid the start of a potential impeachment inquiry.
Are you fired up?
Many Democratic lawmakers, including members from New Jersey, are fired up as Congress moves closer to launching an impeachment inquiry after a whistleblower filed a complaint over President Donald Trump's conversation with Ukraine.
The more we learn, the worse it looks for this president. But let's continue to do our job in Congress and thoroughly investigate and hold this president accountable for his actions.
So this is not a cause for any joy that we have to go down this path. It's a difficult decision to make, but we have that obligation.
We don't allow a president of the United States to besmirch a part of the government itself by telling them they can't get documents, telling them that you can't have people to testify before you. This is a democracy. This is not Russia. If he wants to go to Russia, let him go to Russia.
What would you like to see happen?
Facts on the table, and then we make our decision. And that's what's going to happen.
The whistleblower was very inaccurate. The whistleblower started this whole thing by writing a report on the conversation I had with the president of Ukraine. And the conversation was perfect. It couldn't have been nicer.
The conversation also brought to light new scrutiny over corruption allegations against former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden's international business dealings.
And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
Senator, we've heard two wrongs don't make a right. Do you think the Bidens should be investigated, Joe and Hunter?
I think these allegations on Biden are absurd, and there's no substance to them whatsoever. Joe Biden is a statesman in our country, and there's no indication of wrongdoing whatsoever. This is just an attempt of the president and those who seek to defend his despicable actions. This is an attempt to distract them from accountability, and I won't allow it to happen.
Regardless of what you think about, Biden's son, which from what I can see is basically nothing. There's nothing there. The bottom line is you don't, in a conversation with a leader of the Ukraine who's under attack by Russia, and you're saying we're going to send you aid to defend your country, say, oh, by the way, can you investigate something that has to do with politics in the United States? That's wrong. That's not what the commander-in-chief of our country is supposed to do.
But not all Democrats fully support impeachment. Freshman Congressman Jeff Van Drew from New Jersey's 2nd District believes it's time to pump the brakes on impeachment proceedings and let the people decide.
I would rather win an election by really accomplishing some amazing goals rather than just by muddying somebody else up. You know what? In the course of this election, people really know who this president is. He's made it clear who he is. He's been on Twitter. We know the problems he's had. We know the issues we've had. So if we want to impeach, the people of the United States of America are going to have an election now in a year. They can go ahead in the ballot box and impeach if they desire to do so.
As the impeachment inquiry debate continues, many hope other important legislative efforts on Capitol Hill won't be abandoned. Reporting in Atlantic City for Jersey Matters, I'm Veronica Dudo.
All right, thanks, Veronica. When we come back, there's a call for a ban on e-cigarettes in the state, and there are some people who couldn't be more upset. That's when we come right back.